Now today, we're going to take the world's best and most advanced mobile operating system and turn it up to 11. And I'd like to invite Craig back to take you through it. Craig.
Thank you, Tim. Hello again. Let's talk about iOS 11. It's a big one. Now, we have a big focus on technologies in iOS 11, but also some really big features. We have a lot to talk about. We're going to start with messages. Now, you all know in iOS 10, we added iMessage, apps, and stickers. People have had a lot of fun with these. And now in iOS 11, we're making them more discoverable than ever with this redesigned app drawer. You can see you have your apps accessible right there at the bottom of the screen with just a tap. You can bring them up, scroll through them, and tap into any app. It's really easy. It's going to make it a lot of fun for you to use your apps and stickers. Now, the big story with messages, though, is messages in iCloud. Because now, with your iMessages in iCloud, when you sign in to another new device, well, all of your conversations are automatically synchronized. And in fact, they stay in sync. So if you want to delete an embarrassing message that you don't want in your transcript, well, it goes away everywhere, which is kind of nice. So this, of course, allows us to optimize your device storage, because with your messages in the cloud, we only need to keep your most recent messages cached on the device. And so that makes for smaller and faster backups. Now, this is available for iOS and the Mac. And of course, your messages remain end-to-end encrypted. Next, Apple Pay. So we love using Apple Pay to buy things at retail. In fact, Apple Pay is the #1 contactless payment service on mobile devices. And by the end of the year, it'll be available in more than 50% of retailers here in the US. Yeah. But in addition to paying at retail, we use Apple Pay in apps. We use it in the web. And there was one final frontier we wanted to conquer, and that's Apple Pay for person-to-person payments. Now, it's super simple because it's integrated right in to Messages as an iMessage app. So you can send and receive money right in your transcript. And of course, when you send it, you authenticate securely with Touch ID. And if you receive money with iMessage, it goes into your Apple Pay cash card. And from there, well, you can send it on to friends and family if you're charitable. You can make Apple Pay purchases at retail or on the web. And of course, you can pull it out and transfer it to your bank. And it's available across all these iOS devices and Apple Watch too. Thank you. So next, let's turn to Siri. Now, Siri is used monthly for more than 375 million devices. It's absolutely huge. And it's available in more languages and more countries than any other assistant, 21 languages in 36 countries. So for iOS 11, we're making a big upgrade to your primary interface in dealing with Siri, and that's Siri's voice. We've used deep learning now to create a really natural and expressive voice for Siri, and I'd like you to hear it.
Here's the forecast for the next 10 days. Sunny, sunny, and sunny.
3 different ways to say sunny. Very powerful. Now, Siri also has a male voice, and it sounds fantastic too.
I love machine learning, especially since I'm a machine learning.
So Siri has a great new visual interface as well. And it's able to provide you with follow-up questions and answers with just a tap, and multiple results when you make a query. It's really handy. Now, Siri also has a new capability, just translation. So you can now ask something like, how do you say, what are the most popular dishes in your restaurant in Chinese? And Siri can say,
你们餐厅有哪些菜最受欢迎?
Totally. Now, translation initially will support translation from English to Chinese, French, German, Italian, and Spanish, and we'll have more language combinations coming in the months to come. Now, when it comes to using Siri to access your other applications, we have SiriKit, and SiriKit can now do more than ever in iOS 11. So now you can do task management by using Siri to make tasks in OmniFocus or Things, take notes in Evernote, do banking in City Mobile, or even bring up a QR code in WeChat. Now, Siri isn't just a voice assistant, because with Siri Intelligence, Siri not only understands your voice, it understands the context, it understands your interests, it understands how you use your device, and this allows it to ultimately understand what you want next. Now, we've all experienced this where Siri can help us predict what apps we might want to use next, give us a time to leave notification based on our calendar and where we are, help us respond to a text message. In iOS 11, Siri uses on-device learning to understand more about topics of interest to us. So it can actually suggest topics we might be interested in learning about in news. It can help us respond with our location for getting to an appointment to someone in messages, and even help us make a calendar appointment based on something we've just booked inside of Safari on the web. And what Siri learns about you on device is now kept synced across all of your devices. So you're dealing with one Siri, but of course, this is kept completely private, readable only by you and your devices. Next, let's talk about the camera. People love the fantastic cameras in the iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. And in fact, our customers now take 1 trillion photos per year. It's absolutely amazing. And they take a lot of video too, and today they do it in H.264. But now, with our latest iPhones and iOS 7, we're using HEVC, which is giving us up to 2 times better compression for camera-captured videos, which means less storage space used on your device and less space used in the cloud. And we're applying these same techniques to replace JPEG capture with what we call HEIF, High Efficiency Image Format. It's based on HEVC, and it also provides awesome quality images at half the size on your device. And of course, you can still share completely compatibly with others. Now, with the iPhone 7 Plus, we love taking these beautiful portrait photos, and now with iOS 11, we can take low light photographs using optical image stabilization, True Tone Flash, HDR, delivers incredible image quality. And we're taking the depth information that we can capture with 2 cameras and exposing it to developers with a new depth API, which has allowed them to do incredibly fun and artistic photos like this using the depth API. Now, when you're done taking your photos, you go to enjoy them in the Photos app. And one of the ways I love enjoying them is with the Memories feature, because Memories is able to scan my library and find all kinds of fun events, and now it can do more than ever. It uses machine learning to identify things like sporting events, even weddings, anniversaries, memories of your babies. It's really great. And when you go to play those back, you can see them not just in normal landscape orientation, but now watch them in portrait, taking full advantage of the height of your display. Now, when it comes to live photos, we have some great enhancements as well. So you can now trim your live photos, the video around the still. You can mark any part of the video as your key photo, and so much more. So these are some of the big features in iOS 11. There's one other, which is a major redesign to Control Center. Rather than show it in slides, how about we do a demo? All right, let's take our first live look. No, I don't want to do that. Let's take our first live look at iOS 11. Now, I'm going to just bring up Control Center as always, and what you'll notice is Control Center is now a single page, packs all the features into a single page. Now, of course, it has simple switches. I'll just do an orientation lock. It's got a beautiful little animation there for the orientation lock. It has sliders available, so you can adjust volume like this, but it provides greater depth because with 3D touch in on a slider like this and get access to more controls. And this allows us to pack lots of capabilities really easily into the design. So you see we have our wireless controls. Well, I could just tap on airplane mode, but if I 3D touch on the platter, I get access to even more features. And this is really great with your music because you can operate them here or jump in for even more information. So it's a really great new control center, and I think you're really going to love it. Now, we've also taken this opportunity to redesign lock screen and notification center by making them one. So now, when I'm on my lock screen, if I unlock the device, just like that, I can actually now swipe back down. I'm actually on my lock screen seeing those notifications, but I can get at all my other notifications just by scrolling up, like that. It's a really great unification, and you still have access, of course, to your widgets on the left and your camera on the right. Now, let's take a look at photos. These beautiful portrait photos, but also these great live photos. And you know, live photos capture a still, but then also a bunch of video automatically captured around it, and sometimes the best shot wasn't the still. Well, now we can go into edit mode. We could trim this video if we want, but we also can capture just the frame we want and make that our key photo. Now, we can do other really fun things with live photos. Now, here's one great shot, this girl blowing a bubble, but wouldn't it be great if she could just keep blowing that bubble? Well, now she can. We actually use computer vision to compute a seamless loop around this live photo. It's really fun. And we have another great effect. So here's a fun jump in the pool, but wouldn't it be better if it bounced? There it is. Now, we can really do some artistic things with live photos as well. So you see, this is a shot where we have still landscape, but then this movement in the water. Now, if you wanted to capture this kind of motion, traditionally you'd have to get a tripod and figure out how to configure a long exposure on your high-end camera. But now, you can actually just go into the effects here and select long exposure and check it out. It's really gorgeous. Now, let's take a quick look at memories, because you see, memories can now capture things like activities, like scuba diving, can spot your anniversaries, these really touching memories of your children growing up, and most importantly, your pets. Let's play a movie about these pets. And what we'll see is that we play them, of course, traditionally here in landscape, which is a great way to watch video. And of course, Memories is using computer vision to actually identify photos of your pet and pick the best scenes. Now what's great is I can also rotate my phone now into portrait, and it automatically reformats to take full advantage of the height of the display. And that's a quick look at Memories. Now, with Memories, we're using machine learning to help learn more about you and what you're interested in by looking at your photo library. But now in iOS 11, Siri does so much more in learning how you're using your device. So for instance, if I'm in Safari here and I'm reading about Iceland, maybe I'm considering taking a trip there, there's Reykjavik as a nice location. Well, now Siri actually on my device spots my interest. So when I go, let's say, into news, Siri automatically surfaces for me a recommendation that I might be interested in news about Iceland. I can just tap in and heart this one like this. And if I tap into a particular article, we can see it mentions certain locations in Iceland. I think this one is called Snæfellsnes. I hope it's okay with anyone who speaks Icelandic. But what's great is now Siri is learning this vocabulary, knows it might be something I'm going to use in my communication in the future. So when I go into messages and start typing a message, and let's say I start typing Reykjavik, well, check it out. It learns that Reykjavik is probably a word I might type. And what about, there it is, Snæfellsnes. Pretty awesome. Now, let's take a look at stickers, because you notice now, right on the bottom of the display, we have access to all my sticker packs. I can tap in on the bottom here to my Star Wars sticker pack, can tap and slide, say select music, and we now have Apple Pay right here as a Messages app. But what's so cool is if I receive a message saying that I owe someone money, well, you notice the QuickType keyboard automatically surfaces Apple Pay as an option and picks the amount out as what I might want to pay. I can just tap the pay button, send, and authenticate with my fingerprint, and just like that, I've paid with Apple Pay. And that is a quick demo of iOS 11.